The issue of takeover of Madarsas in Assam has been not only a legal but also a political one. But right now, a petition has come in the Supreme Court where the court has issued notice. We're speaking to Advocate Adil Ahmed. Sir, your clients have moved a petition in the Supreme Court over this Madarsa issue of Assam. What exactly is the issue? What have you come to the court for?
See, now under the garb of this legislation, what the government of Assam has sought to do is completely abolish the madrasas, so to say. But then these madrasas were established by private trustees, private owners, so they had only given their lands for a specific reason. But under the garb of this legislation, the government of Assam wishes to usurp the land ownership title of these madrasas as well, including but not limited to the education as well. So you're no longer allowed to have madrasa or madrasa boards for that matter to continue with this kind of Islamic education. Yes.
So, what exactly are the issues that you've pointed out before the court, and what has the court said today during the hearing?
This happens to be an issue of fundamental rights, rights of minorities to establish and administer their institutions of their choice. And when it comes to this minority, then the particular medium of language, as well as the subjects which could be confined or not limited to Islamic literature. And then along with these subjects, you had mainstream courses as well. So this would cater to the larger minority mass and class as well of Assam. So this all these issues have been petitioned before the top court.
So, one of the things that was discussed before the High Court and by the Assam government is that because it is the government which is funding these madrasas, that is why these boards have been taken over, and that is why the government will now be running them as proper schools. So, is there any objection to that, or is there something there's a legal nuance involved here?
Correct. So that plea is in fact misconceived. It's not a fact that the government of Assam was funding these madrasas or running these madrasas. These madrasas were run by their private individuals itself. Now it was only the salaries or the emoluments of these teachers and the staff, and that too only from 1995 that the government was funding it, but that too voluntarily. So there was no compulsion. So therefore, against that misconceived plea and against that very impugned judgment, we've come before this honorable court.
What has the court said on this now? Notice has been issued, but were there any observations? When is the court likely to hear this matter?
There's no specific date given as such. Only the government of Assam has been asked to respond to it. And strictly speaking, the court does find merits in the petition. That yes, why at all has the High Court, upheld that legislation and then struck down this act. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. So we were speaking to Advocate Adil Ahmed, the counsel for the petitioners in the Supreme Court, which have raised objections to the actions of the state of Assam in taking over the Madarsas in the state and saying that they are now government schools and cannot therefore impart religious education. This is an issue, according to the petitioners, not just of running of the schools, but also regarding the fundamental right to not only practice and propagate, but also run educational institutions of a particular religion and a language. In New Delhi, this is Aneesha Mathur for India Today.